What's up, Rezlife? I'm Ashton Barlow. Hopefully a lot of you know me. I'm a senior from Blue Valley High School. I used to go to Blue Valley Middle School. Any of you from Blue Valley Middle School? Oh, that wasn't good. Any of you from Blue Valley Middle School? All right. Okay, who's not from Blue Valley Middle School? Okay, we have a stronger presence there. All right. So, over the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about doubt. We've been going through doubt in our faith. We've talked about having doubt in God. We've talked about doubt in the Bible. And we've talked about doubt and our struggle through doubt. So now we have to figure out how to get over doubt. So how do we get over our doubt in faith? Because sometimes when we're doubting our faith, it can feel like we're in a ditch. So how are we supposed to continue this path with God when we're in this ditch and we don't even know where the path is? This is a question I asked myself in the middle of COVID. I mean, we were all through COVID, right? And before COVID, I went to church every single week. I was in the church band. I even led FCA in 8th grade. I was here every single week. And when the world shut down, the church also shut down. So everything that was binding me to this daily journey and to Jesus had just gone away. So I felt like I had been separated from God. So I like to use this analogy of a rope. So do I have any volunteers out there? Okay, let's see. Let's take you. All right, so I have this rope, and I want you to take this side of it. I want you to stand over there. So, I like to use this analogy of a rope where on one side of the rope, it's you and I. It's our journey through Christ. And on the other side, it's God. Everyone say, hi, God. There you go, you're God. All right, so through our faith journey, we can sometimes drift apart from God. So if you stay there, stay planted, sometimes we can feel like we're just going further and further and further away from God, and sometimes we feel like there's nothing there. But always on the other side of the rope, there's God. All right, thank you so much. So in Proverbs 3:5-6, we read, trust the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your path straight. So one of the things that God does for us is that he is always on the other side of that rope. So through the rope, you're always connected to God. And even when you're unsure and doubting God, you fall away. And that's okay, because we always have a safety line. So say you're climbing up a mountain. You attach a rope to places, so if you fall, you don't fall all the way down and die. Well, God's the place that we attach the rope to, and God is never moving. God always stays in the same spot. So we now know that even when we're doubting, God is still holding on to us by the other side of the rope. But how do we get back to him when we're in that ditch, when we're hanging off the side of a cliff? Well, in 1 Timothy, Paul gives us this really good way to acknowledge God. So Paul says, don't let anyone look down on you because you are young, but set an example for the believers in speech, in conduct, in your love, in your faith, and in purity. Until I come, devote yourself to the public reading of Scripture, to preaching, and to teaching. So that's a verse that was written for Timothy, and it's about leadership. And that doesn't make any sense. If you're doubting and you're a leader, well, you shouldn't be doubting it if you're a leader. So I personally take that verse in a different way. I think that Paul is saying that these are guidelines that we can follow when we're doubting. If we decide that we want to show our belief in Jesus through our speech, our conduct, our love, our faith, and our purity. If we read the Bible every day and go to church and stay involved, then maybe we can start to find our way up that rope. So this is a good guide rail to grab onto when you're doubting. And this was a good guide rail for me to grab onto when I was doubting. So what I did was in December of whatever that was. In December of 2022, I decided just on a whim that I wanted to get back on track. And I started a New Year's food drive. And I just randomly went to my work Price Chopper and I said, hey, can I have some paper bags? And then I printed out a bunch of papers explaining what this food drive was for. And then me and a couple of buddies, we all went out to my neighborhood and we would deliver all of these paper bags to houses. And then they would fill them up in 1 week and we'd come back. And we ended up collecting 1,100 pounds of groceries for harvesters. And doing this really helped me get back on track. It showed me that, doing this good thing helps me feel more like Jesus. But you don't need to do this huge fundraiser to connect better with God. You don't need to do all of these big things. You can actually do simple things in your life. You can hold the door open for someone when they're walking into a class. You can just decide to read the Bible every day and just flip it open to one page and say, oh, this is nice. I want to read this. You can do anything. You can talk to that one awkward kid that's like, I don't want to talk to him, but just go talk to him one day. You can decide, I'm going to say one nice thing to one of my friends every single day. And all these are just steps to keep on trying to grow closer to God. And another good way is to come to church every week. I mean, you all have experienced it here. What's worship? It's awesome. It helps us reconnect. And you know what? It's hard going through doubt. And I want you to know that through all of your doubt, God is right there on the other side of the rope. You are never alone, and you are never forgotten. So right about now, I'm going to have some of our leaders come around and pass out some sticky notes. A few weeks ago, you all wrote some things down on sticky notes and put them on that whiteboard. You wrote down your doubts. You might have written down, is God real? You might have written down, why do bad things happen to good people? You might have just said, why did my dog die? So hopefully this week, what you can write is something that you can do every day or something that you can start making your way towards. Just a good thing that you can do to reconnect you to God. And maybe it's praying more. And maybe it's trying to talk to that person. Or maybe it's even something bigger. And after you're done writing that on the board, put your notes there.